35th annual Halloween Howler. We'll be playing the round 2 coverage, or we're playing the round 2 for this tournament at the Ridge. Tournament held by M.A.D.G.A, Mobile Area Disc Golf Association. Big shout out to them.
Yeah, I saw a good amount of birdies here in the first round. If you didn't watch that, go check it out. See a little bit of flyover of a picturesque hole on one of the other courses here. But here we are, hole 10, about 220 feet. Really just a straight putter. Anything you can put straight. There is a left lane, but no one's really going to take it. It's a tight gap to begin with, and there's a bit of a down slope where the basket is, so you really want to get your distance control down.
And you want to hit your line, as Colin did not there. Kicked off on the right side, or off on the left side from the right.
Cam lining up a shot here. Trying to keep it going. He had a good string of birdies there on the end of the front 9.
And he laces this one, giving it a good run, good tree there.
Perhaps that was about to be 80 feet down the hill.
MattyO lining up a shot here. Currently leading the tournament at 18 under.
Yeah, Matt trying to answer in typical fashion, seeing a little bit of a battle back and forth between Matt and Cam. Maybe yanking it over just a little bit. Oh, fights through actually.
Gets sneaky. Does a little dance.
That's that previous champ love.
Yeah, I believe he'll be pin high, probably about 30 feet, if that. And you won't even really have to putt towards that downhill. You got Ben Fulford here. Wanting it to get left.
Yeah, going with a little bit of a flip up.
Gets through the gap.
Happy with it.
Very excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, puts it under the basket.
Worth mentioning that this is the 3rd hardest hole out here, playing I think 0.2 strokes over par.
Yeah, if you don't hit the gap, then it's really tough to get up and down, and then trying to scramble and with the distance control on the elevation, it can get a real tricky. As you see Colin here trying to throw a flex forehand, hitting the left gap that Mac mentioned earlier.
Yeah, it really only opens up if you unfortunately end up pretty early on.
And you see that long downhill putt.
Absolutely cashes it.
No fear from Colin.
No.
Way to save a par on this hole.
Maybe he feels like he has nothing to lose after that start.
He bounced back a good bit after carding 5 bogey strokes in 2 holes and then following it up with 5 birdies in a row. Cam didn't really get that one up. He had a low ceiling uphill.
Yeah, knowing Cam, he's definitely frustrated with that one.
MattyO cashing it in.
Chad with a good drive too.
Oh yeah. For me, I like to play this one a little deep just so I get that uphill putt, but as you can see right here, you still have that one awkwardly grown tree that can get in the way.
Yeah, getting an in the circle putt here is it's challenging for sure. Whew. Good basket. That's that one for him.
Yeah, luckily that putt was a little high, but because of the angle of the disc, it knocked it down in.
And Ben with a tap in too, kind of a rare sight on this hole. Actually saw 3 of the 4 birdies on the day on that hole. So
you got hole 11 here, throwing a turnover shot or forehand, high forehand, and again downward slope towards the basket. You really want to just push this out and let the disc do the work.
Yeah. Shout out to my other buddy, Dylan Weaver, the other birdie on that last hole.
MattyO hitting the gap, looking like he got down there. He'll probably have the circle's edge putt, maybe closer. Ben lining up, I believe, a Firebird here.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of routes you can take here. You got that high kind of stally forehand. You can also go with a turnover backhand, and if you do have an overhand that you trust, there is an over the corner shot there.
Yeah, you definitely have to have at least 350 foot of overhand power for that shot.
Yeah.
Shout out Josh Hollingsworth.
Shout out.
Or Cameron Roberts, who we'll get to see here next round.
True, true. Spoiler alert. Colin hitting the gap. Might have pushed it a little long, but he kicks off the tree deep and comes back into the fairway.
Yeah, this is definitely a tweener hole in terms of if you want to get it or not. I mean, you always want to get it, but it's a tough shot to execute.
Yeah, you're not too upset if you come away with a par on this hole.
It's a good shot from Cam. Unfortunate break there at the end. I guess he probably clips that last tree there in the fairway, maybe second to last. Chad showing those scramble skills that you need to have out here. Does it pretty well, actually. Been with a very long bid.
You can definitely count on him giving it a good bid from 100 feet out, even.
Not happy with that
Yeah.
one. And that just goes to show what he expects from himself from that distance. Maybe not make it every time, but at least give it a good bid.
Colin here with a step putt.
Oof.
That was a good bid.
Yeah, Colin's got a dangerous step putt. And with a little bit of an Anheuser flex bid. He'll come out with the 3.
Here's MattyO from the inside the circle look.
Ooh.
Did he hit a tree?
I'm not sure. Maybe a little bit of a misfire there?
He'll have an easy par cleanup.
Yeah.
The rare 3 from MattyO.
Got Ben cleaning up the par as well. Chad with that awesome overhand to get him down here.
Yeah. Great scramble.
Looks like we'll have a bunch of pars on this hole. Like I said earlier, you're not upset about that, but you still want to try to get the score separation.
Yeah. Yeah, Matt's a little frustrated knowing that he could have taken a stroke on the whole card there. Cam tapping in the 3. And Matt's going to do the same. A little bit of a fumble. Here we are, hole 12. About 360 feet. Probably one of the longer holes out here. Definitely one of the longer holes. Uphill, up to the right. If you got a big forehand, you can get there, but you'll see a lot of people opting for this big turnover shot.
Yeah, in years past, that field to the left was wooded as well, and they cleared that out, making this hole a lot easier than it was.
Yeah, more times than not, if you end up there to the left, you still have a pretty decent approach shot in. So
Yeah, that's definitely the miss on this hole. You do not want to be right.
it almost makes you want to go for the backhand as opposed to the forehand, because if you go early left or early right, you're in some trouble.
Didn't look like he got up there pretty close.
You've been hanging it out like you need to.
Probably have a long look.
Chad looks like he's opting for that big backhand route.
Chad's got some sneaky distance. It shouldn't take him shouldn't take too much effort for him to get up there. It looks like he had a pretty good shot.
Yeah, maybe flex out a little early, but have some sort of look. Colin trying to replicate.
A little low out of his hand.
Catching that tree, but actually he'll be fine.
Yeah, like we said earlier, that's the miss you want to have, is you're right there and you can have an easy approach for an easy par.
Yeah, honestly, the biggest danger of going left is not finding your disc, because it gets thick over there.
Cam looked like he slipped a little bit on the tee shot, but
Pretty decent angle there, good height. Maybe pushed even a little long, but
he caught a tree earlier of the basket, and I believe he'll have probably a outside circle loop.
Colin opting for that step putt. Should be up there for a pretty easy 3. Matt's got some foliage to contend with.
We pushed a little deep.
Oh,
Hyzer and bag.
Ooh,
Good run.
that would have been something special to see. Chad, a little George of the Jungle action.
He did kick back. See Cam here a little short.
See Ben just right there in front of his lie.
Giving it a decent bid, but walking away with the par. Ben trying to get the birdie here. Just a little low on the uphill putt.
And you can
More
see it's a little windy. Yeah. Ben's an emotive player.
Yeah, we'll have a bunch of pars here as well.
Yeah, you can see it was a little windy on this hole. Maybe that tailwind got to him just a tad.
Matt cleaning up the par as well.
Cashing it. Ben just walking away from it.
I don't want anything of that.
No. That's what you gotta do. You just gotta move on. It's happened. It's over. Forget about it.
Alright, so now we move on to arguably the hardest hole on the course. I believe it was second relative to par. You want to hit that tight gap, turn it over. There's also a flex forehand route, and then again a downward slope towards the basket.
Yeah, like JC said, second hardest hole on the course. Played half a stroke over par. As you can see, there's not much of a gap there.
Yeah, I try to play this one. I throw it at the tree on the left gap and just act like the tree isn't there. 50% of the time that works.
Yeah, there's really 2 prominent approaches here. Either go for that slow turning backhands and try and lace that really small gap, or there is a flex forehand gap that's as small, equally as small as the backhand gap. So
Right.
maybe even a tad tighter.
See a bunch of these players kicking off, showing you how hard this hole really is.
Yeah, I mean, more often than not, you're going to see a lot of people playing from this left side. Good angle. Just
Again.
catches the tree.
Yeah, you really want to go inside of that tree that's in the middle of the left side.
Yeah, just left of that pine in the middle with the sunlight hitting it.
Yeah, it's easier said than done though.
Much easier said than done. Looks like that same tree got most of our players here.
Yeah, Matt with the best drive, and he's still barely halfway down the fairway.
Colin going with an overhand, little tomahawk action.
Chad lining up a long flexing forehand.
And this is what we mean when we say you need to be able to scramble, because if you're not finding yourself in a situation like this, well, you're playing yourself a really good round.
Been scrambling really well.
Yeah, great little upshot. You can see the green slopes down there at the end, just adding to the difficulty of the hole. Lots of little subtle elevation changes on this hole. Kind of goes up and down.
Yeah, Cam on a safari out there, trying to find his way out.
Matt with a long bid.
Yeah, he's probably
Giving it
just
a half
pushing that
run,
one up.
yeah. Scary putt here for Colin. Oof.
He had no fear there, but
No. Gave it a really good run. Good thing he hit the basket, because that could have been a long comeback putt. Cam just off the top, little left.
he'll tap into bogey there. Chad with an unorthodox putt here.
Yeah. What's that he's putting with a pig?
It's a rhino.
Okay.
That's his typical putter though. He cashes it in.
I'm a fan of the less common putters. Love to see it.
Been here looking to clean up his par, just over the top.
Yeah, you're not going to be losing any strokes. Par, you're actually gaining a little bit of strokes taking a par here.
We have one birdie on this hole this
We
round?
had one birdie, yeah. Actually, self-promo action. It was from yours truly. It was me, Mac.
Humble brag.
Yeah, a little humble brag. Actually got extremely lucky. Hit probably the skinniest gap I've ever hit in my life.
Calculated.
Yeah, went right over the basket apparently. A little bit of an ace run too. Here we are, hole 14, 250 feet. Got a straight tunnel when it ends to the left there. The tunnel's actually slightly offset to the right, so it makes this a kind of awkward shot. You almost have to do a flex action.
Or a bank shot.
Or a
if
bank
Matt
shot.
shows you.
Yeah, just how he drew it up.
What really plays well here actually is if you have a tomahawk, it shapes perfectly for this shot. I learned that from Josh, and
Yeah.
I don't have much distance, but it works. Ben doesn't really get it flexed over, so he'll be on the left side. And Chad here, I believe that's a classic rock. Didn't get turned over as well. That elevation, it doesn't necessarily look bad, but it's probably 8 foot elevation right in front of your face.
Yeah, and I mean, the word I would use to describe this hold is awkward. You got that elevation change right off the bat. Like I said, the fairway is a little bit off center, and it requires a long tunnel, relatively long tunnel. So, I mean, it's a very precise shot you have to hit, maybe an angle you're not used to hitting.
Yeah, we saw Colin doing it pretty well, putting it right there, I believe inside the circle. Cameron lining up an A2.
Getting a good
A3.
skip, but yeah, seeing that little bit of elevation change JC was talking about.
Chad will one stepper, put it under the basket for his par.
I like his little one step go into the shot.
Cameron with a long jump putt, trying to get up there.
It should be a pretty simple 3. Ben finding himself with some scrambling to do, but
Another turnover zone shot.
yeah, does pretty well. That left side gets nasty.
Ooh, and it looked like he had a putt between the trees there.
Yeah, that tree's ready to come down.
Colin looking to cash in a birdie.
Ooh. Maybe some bad flashbacks to the beginning of the round. Hopefully he doesn't let that one affect him.
Chad eyeing this basket down. The basket won.
Maybe a little bit of fatigue setting in. This is the second round in a day here, and we're coming to the end of it, so.
Yeah, Matt with the tree love, putting it under the basket, cleaning up a easy birdie.
Definitely a great break happening there for Matt.
Chad with the bogey, Cam with the par. We get to hole 15 here. It shows as a par 4. I believe scoring had it as a par 3. It's 420 feet. You want to throw a fairway down to this corner right here, and then have a simple putter shot up to the basket to another downward sloping green.
Yeah, scored as a par 3, so it's technically the hardest hole we have out here today. Playing at 1.1 strokes over par.
Matt off a little right, didn't quite hit the gap. He'll be scrambling. Probably for the first time today, I feel like.
Yeah, very demanding tee shot, especially because that left side is very dangerous to get into. If you get over there, you're looking at basically a pitch out and that's it.
Ben scared of the left side, pulls it to the right.
I actually have a half decent angle from right there,
Yeah,
so
you
I'm
could
getting fortunate.
Probably take a kind of a flippier fairway and have it flip up through the gap. Colin doing a slight flex. Looking
Looks
beautiful.
really good.
And as we find it, I believe that's in the middle of the fairway.
Yeah.
Right in the gap.
Oh yeah. great place to be. Really all you're asking for is a look down the hill to the basket.
Yeah, Cameron looks like he's going for the 2 here. He's lining up a D1.
Maybe thinks he needs to make up those strokes on Matt. Seen him kind of getting away from him a bit.
Oh, he was so close to getting a skip down there for a long bid.
Super close. Just 5-10 more feet of push and that would have been down the hill, circle 2 look probably.
Chad hitting the gap initially, catching that middle pine that you got to get around. He will still have an easy look to get down the gap.
Yeah, Chad looked like he was maybe going for that higher finish, which is more of a layup, whereas Cam went for the low skip shot, which is what you want to do to get down there.
Yeah, Ben throwing the little hyzer flip up, skipping down. He'll probably have a 35-foot look, but in the woods right.
Matt opting for a forehand roller here, catching a couple roots, maybe a stump in there.
Yeah, that's about all he had right there to get all the way down to the basket.
Yeah. I mentioned how dangerous the left side is, but the right side's not much better.
Chad with a good kick out back to the fairway, but that was a really good shot.
A little bit of dance moves there at the end. Couldn't tell if his foot was stuck or he was just really happy about that kick.
Cam done a little flex forehand and catches the right side. Matt going with another forehand roller here.
Yeah, never a good scene when you gotta go forehand roller.
But he does it well.
Yeah, does it very well.
Tap in for the 4.
If you ever wanted to know how to throw a forehand roller, you should just watch that one. Do what he did.
Colin with the best drive on the card.
Yeah, I mean, really all you can look for. Oh, giving it a bid too.
Whew. Trying to get the only birdie. We had no 2s on the day, so.
Yeah, we'll call that one a 2.5.
Cam trying to lay up, but gets a bad roll away. It's the dangers of these greens.
Yeah, looks like he checked up a bit though, so.
And giving it a long run.
Oof. Definitely frustrated with that, but still a good bid.
Yeah, you can't really expect to hit all of them, but you would like to hit some.
Yeah, he's had some bad breaks with the putts, so maybe he's just looking for something to go his way.
Cam looked like he rolled down to about 25 feet, but it's pretty routine for him.
Yeah.
Colin in a similar spot. Doesn't clean that up. That's unfortunate with the drive that he had.
Yeah, you definitely want to take the 3 there from being in that ideal position off the tee.
Ben off the left side for his 4.
Maybe came into that putt a tad quick.
And carry over from the frustration of missing.
Yeah. You see, he definitely just wanted to get off the hole, which I don't blame him.
I believe this. Chad makes this, it'll be the only 3 on this card.
Yep.
Which that feels like a birdie.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, you're gaining more than a stroke on the field just by taking a par there, so.
Matt coming over here after some impressive forehand rollers to clean up his 4.
Making sure that one stays. Hole 16, 270 feet. Probably the most picturesque hole on this course, if you ask me. Kind of goes down into this gully. You can see there's a wood bridge going over it. A little bit of a low ceiling gap to hit to a pretty picturesque green with the sun hitting it like that.
Chad showing you how it's done with a slight turnover.
Oh yeah.
That's it. Within tapping range, I believe.
Yeah, it's a little tough because you want to play it into that hillside, but there are a lot of roots there to contend with. So if you play it into the hill, you might get stopped short.
Yeah. Or you just hit
or
it
you
and push it right to the basket.
You know, it gives and it takes. Colin trying to follow suit, going with a little bit more of a flip up.
That's a good play. Like you said, that hillside right there slopes down from left to right, so playing into it. less danger of rolling away.
Yeah. Elevation, you do have to take into account. You're almost throwing downhill, even though the basket is only slightly below your eye line.
Cameron fortunate enough to kick out to the right after not getting the disc turned over enough.
Been trying to bounce back from that unfortunate last hole.
Looks like he put a little too much hyzer on that disc, and
Yeah. Gonna end up short, but he will have an angle at the basket. Oof, great line. That's a long way to jump putt though, so.
Cameron here trying to not lose a stroke to Matt. Off the nub.
He got nubbed. Center pole. Good putt there from Colin. Definitely a hole you want to get, but it also makes you feel good when you do get it. Because it's a little bit of a mixed bag as to whether or not you're going to get it every time.
Chad getting it as well. And Cameron coming down here to try to clean up his par.
Good putt there from Cam.
Ben, a little frustrated, almost bounces that putt off the center pole. And Matt tapping in for the easy birdie. So you see here we got Matt with a 7-stroke lead over Cameron, the next on the card. We got hole 17 here, 260 feet. This hole throws as a backhand S-curve shot. You want to take a mid-range or a putter and either force it over or throw a flippy mid soft and try to get it to fall to the right and then a stall out at the end.
Yeah, actually a pretty demanding shot to hit here. More often than not, you'll see people
Sneak
hit
through.
left side. Yeah, not gonna see that more often than not, but you will see them hit that left side. Chad got very fortunate there.
He's loving it though. He's very surprised but very grateful.
Gotta take them where you can get them on this course.
Oh yeah. Matt showing you how it's really done. Except hitting that tree.
Yeah, had that little tiny bit of turnover. Needed just a tad more. Colin going with something a little more stable with a little bit of tad bit of a force over on it.
Yeah, I think he was trying to go to the Chad line and it didn't work for him.
The Chad line. Trying to sneak through there. That's the local route. There is a fence over to the left side where if you get a really bad kick, I believe it plays as out of bounds if you go over it.
Yeah.
But not really something in the minds of the players, just something to add to the bad breaks if you get one.
For sure, you don't want that. Cam throwing it to within the circle. Ben throwing a softer turnover and just letting it stall out. I believe he's a little deep at the basket, but should have a look for birdie.
Yeah, good line.
Oh, just short of the basket. But
Matt with some trees to contend with here. Finds the gap though. Tap it 3.
Yeah, easy par.
Colin going with that step putt, just left, good height. Maybe a little frustrated with how far past the basket that one went. Good putt from Chad, capitalizing on that good break.
Ben with the birdie. Cam as well, gaining a stroke back on Matt.
Cleaned it up. And last hole, hole 18, just over 200 feet. Your most common play is going to be a little bit of a flip up forehand, maybe something overstable, push it There is a backhand if you want to kind of let it drift to the right the whole way. Definitely tougher than the forehands.
I personally take a backhand on this hole. Just take a putter, throw it in the gap on a turnover. However you want to tackle it, this hole is relatively easy at playing the second easiest hole on the course.
Yeah, you definitely want to get this one. It's especially being your last hole, get to end on a birdie, and Cam just head knocker.
Showing you how it's done.
Ben trying that forehand gap, gets it out wide enough, not making the same mistake Chad did.
Yeah, he puts it up there with an easy look. You got Matt here going with the turnover shot like Cam.
Yeah, it shapes up pretty well for that backhand turnover. The only danger there is if you let it leak long, that stuff's pretty thick there on the left side. But no problem for Matt.
And he's not even thinking about that.
No.
He wants to throw that one in.
He's probably played this course so many times, it's just, he could do it with his eyes closed. Chad, or Colin pulling out a rare forehand. Parks it. That's a good feeling.
Yeah, I believe we missed Chad's up shot, but Ben cleans up the birdie. Chad threw it a little deep.
An awkward stance here, right up against the tree.
With another tree to hyzer around.
Yeah, definitely a tight putt here. But makes it happen, cashes it. Good way to end your round.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to end with a bogey, so that'll
No.
carry over well into the next round.
Matt finishing with a 2. I'm sure he expected as much from himself. Colin gonna finish with a 2 as well. A little bit of an up and down round for him, but finishes on a good note.
And Cam trying not to hit his head.
And the suspense. Thanks for joining us, guys. You see Matt coming out here with the lead at 21 under. Cam at -15. Chad coming in at 10 down, as well as Ben and Colin at 8 under.
Yeah, that was round 2. Come back in round 3, Ben with the Karate Kid. Thank y'all.